Hello, everyone. It is Friday, and it is the Skype for Business recap once again. I am Josh, as usual, and I'm not late. I'm not late because my new rule was that it's not a Friday morning show anymore. It's a Friday show, and it is the end of Friday. None of you will probably see this until after Friday, but I'm not late, and I'm going to stick to that. So I feel good on that note. It's been busy. It's the 4th of July weekend here in the U.S. We are celebrating Independence Day. Is the holiday? It's going to be July 4th, which is Monday, and many people might have that be a 3-day weekend. But this is for our company. This was a 4-day weekend, and so that just meant that today, Friday, we were off, and there was a lot going on, a lot of things to do this morning. Had some family things to do, and given that I'm not tied to the Friday morning time slot, I took advantage of that, and so show's a little bit late. No need to worry, though. There was plenty going on this morning, a lot of announcements on Twitter, and there was also, I think, Jamie Starks and Sean Wilson's Skype for Meeting broadcast this morning as well. And I am sure there was a lot of people watching that because I believe, I haven't been able to watch it yet, but I believe it was a show talking about new Mac updates. And don't we all know it, that is about the hottest topic in Skype for Business, Mac. So anyway, I'll have to check that show out later. I'm sure some of you already caught it, and good stuff. Okay, so like you can see on the board, a couple of things to chat about here. We've got Attendant Pro, the first thing. And that is something, there's an update there that I would not have been able to talk about in the show if I was early. If I was early this morning, I would not have seen these updates on this. So there are benefits to doing it later in the day, right? So next thing, MVPBuzz hashtag. That is a buzzing hashtag today. There's a lot of that going on. Why? We'll get to that in a minute. All right, and that is that. You know what? Let me adjust the camera here because I think I'm a little off kilter. There we go. Now we can see my Twitter handle there at GetCSJosh, in case any of you are looking for me out there on Twitter. All right, good. With that, we're gonna jump over to the Infinity screen. There it is, and bring up Edge. There we go. We're in Edge. And very first thing here, I must say a huge thank you to Flinchbot, aka Michael Tressler. And Michael, this is something that I had struggled with for so long. He poses the question via an official Twitter survey, and as we all know, a survey taken via Twitter, that's final. I mean, that is the law of the land. All right. So he says, which one do you prefer? I troubleshot systems 5 years ago, or I troubleshooted systems 5 years ago. As we can see, the overwhelming majority of people voted for troubleshot. Now, I've always leaned toward troubleshot myself, but didn't really know if it was a word, so felt silly saying it, even though it sounded better to me than saying troubleshooted. Just because you don't say I shooted something, you say I shot something, right? So, apparently Michael kind of thought that it was always the other way, so he was a little disappointed in the results. But now I don't have to feel silly every time I say it, because I will know that the vast majority of you out there are right there with me thinking I should be saying troubleshot. So thanks for making this official for us, Michael. This is great news for me and for 77% of us. All right, moving on, the MVPBuzz hashtag in Twitter. Today is one of those 4 magical days of the year where current MVPs are re-awarded if they kept up throughout the year and kept an active part of the community and put a lot of contributions and work out there. And new MVPs are also awarded if was anyone worthy of the title during that quarter. And so, or, cumulatively through the previous year during the award date of that quarter, etc. So today's one of those days. There's January 1st, April 1st, July 1st, and then October 1st. So we got one more this year. This is the 3rd. And I don't know if there was any new ones. I think I might have saw one. Of course, there were new MVPs, but I mean, specifically that work within the Skype for Business community. I think I may have saw one on LinkedIn, but I don't remember his name now. So Congratulations to you or you all, if there were more than one of you, new MVP awards. That's really cool. I did notice a good handful, a couple guys from Modality Systems. We had Justin Morris in Australia, and then Tom Morgan in the UK. I think Justin had 5 years, and Tom, this was his second, I think. There were a couple more out there that I saw too. This was their renewal. So big congrats to you guys. That's a amazing accomplishment. Every year that you were re-awarded, that's awesome. And I've seen the work you guys do, the content you share, the content that you put out there yourselves. You do a lot to further this product and to help others trying to find their way in this product. And we truly appreciate you. You truly are our most valuable professionals out there. So, excellent stuff. Moving on, updates for Skype for Business Server 2015. That was a big one this week. CU3 Cumulative Update 3 was released for Skype for Business Server 2015 this week. So the on-prem server version got an update. Now, the summary is the important part here. There were 4 big areas that were announced where there are updates here. We have video-based screen sharing, multiple emergency number, busy options, and then offline messaging. All these are really cool. The only 2 I'm going to touch on as far as people that did good blog posts on them are video-based screen sharing and busy options. The only thing I will say about offline messaging is another MVP, Greg Sheridan, apparently was not looking forward to the day that offline messaging made its appearance in the on-prem version and now through CU3 it has. And this has apparently posed a great deal more work to him to have to go through and clean up some of these extra IMs that he got. Well, he wasn't even signed in to Skype for Business, people. This is a travesty. I'm sorry. Greg, I am sorry for you. I know. It's kind of like me with email. I just get so sick of seeing the ridiculous amount of extra emails that I have to climb through that have nothing to do with anything I need to know about. And I'm sure it's pretty much the same along those same lines with you. So some people are happy to see it. Have been awaiting it. They find it useful. Others find it pointless and a waste of time. And so that's all I'm going to say about it. However you feel. Maybe we should have a Twitter survey and we can decide who likes it and who doesn't. Either way, it's available in CU3, so you can check that out on your own. We're going to start off with busy options. Randy Chapman did an amazing blog post on Busy on Busy. And I love it here. He says, what exactly is Busy on Busy? I highlighted via this highlighter up here in my handy dandy Edge browser. I like the Edge browser. Maybe some of you aren't a fan, but I think it's pretty freaking sweet. So anyway, what I highlighted is really Busy on Busy is second call treatment. Let's talk about that a little bit more with his words. Busy on Busy is the option to decide what happens to calls if you are already on a call. One option is to give a busy engaged tone to callers if you were already on a call. Another is to forward second and subsequent calls to voicemail. Again, it is second call treatment. Very good summary. That's what Busy on Busy is. He then goes to give, of course, use cases of why you would want to use this, ways you might want to use it, the options that are present for you when using it, and then the process of actually configuring it, which involves the stopping and starting of services, some PowerShell, and a few other little tidbits here. It's not quite as straightforward and simple as you might have thought that it would be. It's not like overly complex either, but it's just a little more involved for getting it enabled than I would have thought it would have been. But, it is what it is. And luckily we have people like Randy to step us through each step of the way in the most clear and concise way with a little bit of his own personality into the blog, which just makes it a gem. So great job, Randy. Really appreciate and that right there, that's Randy. All right, so awesome stuff. Moving over here, Jeff Schertz, another Skype for Business MVP. I'm sure all of us at one point or another in our Skype for Business and Link careers, or OCS or Link 2010, going way back, have come across his blog posts. He has done a lot to educate us, as a lot of us were just getting started in the field, and we thank you for your blog and your other efforts in the community, like organizing user groups, etc. In this case, I am shining a light on his VBSS update blog post. Video-based screen sharing was already present in a couple ways, one way really. What it is that it allows you to, instead of sharing your desktop with someone using the typical legacy RDP protocol method, which can be a bit burdensome and just not that great on performance, this allows you to share your desktop via an actual video stream, a media session. That is awesome, and it's much more efficient and fast, and it's great and high quality, and it's beautiful. However, the ability to take advantage of this had been restricted to peer-to-peer users that were both using Skype for Business C2R, the click-to-run version of Skype for Business, the latest client. Eventually, online meetings, meaning people that were in a Skype for Business online tenant, were able to have meetings and still use VBSS right up to the point that someone joined that meeting with an older legacy client. And then the desktop sharing reverted right back to the RDP protocol. Nothing has changed from that functionality, but the same functionality has now been added into our on-premise environments via the CU3. As he says here, as of this week with the release of CU3, now on-premises Skype for Business deployments can join in the fun. So very cool stuff. Still pretty limited. There are a ton of older clients out there. I don't know of, I'm sure there are orgs, but I don't think there's just like a ton of organizations out there that are all running the latest click-to-run client. I don't think that's the case too often. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm out of touch. But it's getting closer. This is an update. It's progress. So good stuff. Thanks for blogging about it, Jeff. Jeff is super smart and dove way super deep into it. So if you want to go and really learn more than you're ever going to remember about it here, Jeff does a great job breaking all that down. And I advise, it's a good read. So read through it, check it out. He's got some good stuff to say about it. Lastly, like I said, I would not have been able to talk about this if I hadn't waited till later in the day. So, Attendant Pro June 2016 update. Matt Landis has blogged about an update to Landis Computers Attendant Pro tool, and in the title itself, he lists all the new features that are pretty much present there. Assistant, segmented contact search, search exchange public folders, and multi-monitor support. Then he dives into each of those things a little bit more down here and kind of calls out what he's talking about. He also says, click here to see the complete list. So if we go over here, we actually can go and dig a little bit deeper into all the various enhancements and new features that came with this update. And as you can see, it's a little more in depth than the 4 things he called out in his blog post. So if this is a tool you use in your organization, you're going to want to take a look at this and decide whether or not it's time to update. So, last but not least, Enterprise Connect has a virtual conference coming up July 20th, 2016. There are going to be a number of different webcasts available via this conference here. Of course, going over, as Enterprise Connect does, adoption topics and your implementation strategies, decision-making around how to roll Skype for Business out to an organization in a successful manner. This is something that Kevin Keeler is an absolute expert on, and he is going to be the keynote speaker for this conference. But he is an expert at discussing, he knows a lot of the technical side of things, and he's very smart in that regard and can keep up with any of us on the technical side. But if you sit there and listen to him talk about strategy and end user adoptions and all the different things that go into that, you can tell that's where his passion really lies. And he is the person to listen to find out how you can really spruce up that piece of your strategy for Skype for Business in your environment. Yes, the technical details are important, and you want to have a great technical rollout and implementation of Skype for Business. But it all means nothing if you haven't thought about how that is going to be adopted and consumed by the end users. If you don't have success there, you don't have success at all. And so this is going to be a good conference diving into that. If we go over to the conference program, you can see it begins at 12 noon Eastern Time. Kevin's chat is going to kick off at 12:15 and go to 1:15. The title of his keynote address here is Succeeding with Skype for Business Rollout, 5 Important Do's and 5 Critical Don'ts. So I've had the pleasure of sitting down and talking with Kevin many times, both in a casual, just chatting environment and in a brainstorming, working together type of way. And he is not only just a great guy, but a great person to speak with and to hear him just dump all this amazing knowledge on you. So my recommendation is, if you are able to register for this event, attend. It'll be well worth your time and a great investment for the company. So there's that. Let's get back over to Infinity Screen and get back to my scene. There we go. All right. That's it. I probably went overtime. There was a lot to talk about. It's a very busy week. Busy. Again, everybody, be responsible. Whether you are here in the U.S. celebrating 4th of July, overseas somewhere, I imagine drinking is a part of most of your weekends. It's going to be a part of mine. So let's go ahead and make sure that we are being responsible adults, that we are not drinking and then getting behind the wheel of a car and driving. Have a designated driver. Call a cab. Walk. There's exercise. Beer is not calorie free. We could use it. So be safe, be smart, have a great weekend, a productive week next week, and we will see you right back here again next Friday or whenever you end up watching it for the next Skype for Business recap. Thank you all. Have a good night, good day. Adios.